Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we have another top 10 for you for our Merry Listmas.
That's right. We are going to go over our top 10 favorite games from Renegade Game Studios. Now, they have their fingers in a lot of different pies, right? They're not only a publisher, but they also are a distributor. They bring in games from other things. They buy up games, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a trickier list in that way. We decided to basically just open up the doors. Anything that their name is attached to in any way, shape, or form, we are calling a Renegade game.
Yeah.
And therefore, it is eligible to be on this list. So if you hear a game on this list and you're like, wait, I know that as a blah, blah, blah's game.
Yeah.
That's cool. In our world, they were the ones who put it in our FLGS. Or they're the ones, their name is on the box somewhere, somehow. So that's what our preface was I wanted to give.
Yeah. Also, if you enjoy this list, let us know in the comments below if there's another publisher you would like us to rank. We want to give you what you want.
That's right. Okay, so you went first last time, and the time before that, and the time before that, and the time before that. Can I go first this time?
Yeah, I guess it's fine.
Alright, my number 10, or our number 10 for this list, we're going to talk about Love Letter. So basically, this is a game that's been through a lot of publishers. Renegade Game paired up with Oni Press to make the Love Letter Princess Ever After. This is a game that is a miniature deck, right? There's a few cards, and each one is a way that you're trying to get a letter to the princess. And there's so many things that can happen in the meantime. You're trying to deduce what other players have, trying to knock them out of the running so that way you can get your letter through. This is a game that the artwork is really, really cute. It's based off of the graphic novel of the same name. And this is a game that every time we bring it anywhere, it is just a hit, and it's just so easy to teach because there's just so few cards. That's true for all the versions of Love Letter that we have. They're always a hit.
All right, our number 9 is Gravwell, and this is a game that's just chaotic, and I love it. You are trying to get out of this like black hole, right? But gravity's weird, and your ship's weird, and depending on if you're
weird ships, man. You got these weird ships.
I should specify this is 2nd edition that I'm talking about. And then so depending on where you are and placement to other people, and depending on what you place, will determine how you move. So you might think that you're going to move forward because you place this card, but because of the order of it, because all the cards have letters on them, and you play them in order to that. So it might end up that you shift, and now you're moving backwards, even though you thought you were going to move forward. Or maybe somebody had a really fun card that was like, if you move backward, you're going to move forward. But then they ended up moving forward, so then they moved backwards. And it's just so silly, so crazy. I mean, you can try and plan, and you have ships that can kind of negate certain things, so you do have a little bit more power with the 2nd edition. But this was just, it was great.
All right, so the number 8 game on our list, this is Fox in the Forest. We love trick-taking games. There's not a lot out there that we found have been, gamified well. Yeah. That we always refer back to the old-fashioned card games. But this one does a couple things really nicely. First of all, the art is spectacular. There's kind of a backstory to it that's spectacular. And then also, it's a 2-player specific game. How often do you find a 2-player trick-taking game that works and works well?
Yeah.
There's also a cooperative version of this game, Fox in the Forest Duet. We have that too and enjoy it. I think we prefer the original edition. And every time we play it, it's just kind of this balance of trying to I guess you want to get a lot of the tricks, but not so many that you're greedy. Because if you're greedy, you actually lose victory points, or you get zeros and stuff. Yeah. So it's this really nice balance of this game. And almost every time we play, we're within like a couple of points of each other. And
this is also a really nice travel-friendly game as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we've brought it to day dates before, because day dates are the best. Just throwing that out there. That's not on our list. Okay.
Fox in the Forest.
Our number 7 is Lanterns, and this is a tile drafting game. You're all placing tiles in the middle of the board, and depending on where that tile is placed with what edge is facing you, you get a token of that, and you're trying to collect things so you can turn them in for victory points. Now, one of the things I love about this game is I like how it looks when the game is over. I like it's all pretty when you have all these different lanterns out on the table and all the different tokens everywhere, and it's just like you start with nothing and it blossoms into this beautiful board, and I really enjoyed that.
All right, so our number 6, this is Fuse. Fuse is a real-time card game. You're rolling dice as fast as you can, trying to fulfill these different cards that have all these different objectives on them. It's a full cooperative game by King Clanko. He's like the master of the real-time games, right? This is no exception, and basically you are trying to complete a whole stack of cards with all these different dice stacked in various strange ways, trying to match up numbers or colors, or literally trying to stack dice on top of each other. All different things that you can do in this game, and trying to do it before your 10-minute timer runs out, or else your ship blows up. Sorry, you get weird ships, and it blows
weird
up. So that is Fuse. If you like Fast Furious games, I check this one out.
Definitely. Our number 5 is World's Fair 1893, and I was just thinking as Ryan was talking, this is one we need to introduce to our eldest.
She's about perfect age for this.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect family weight game, and so you are you're putting things out there. It's one of those things where you want this, but in order for this to go up, you have to like get rid of it. So it's like this weird thing of trying to do things at the same time. But it's really neat because all of the cards have text about the World's Fair 1893 that actually went on. So all the things that you're playing are actually historic to that, and they give you little bits of information. So that is super fun. But I just think, like, she'd be perfect for this game now.
Oh, yeah. There's a little bit of area control, but really, really simple.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice thing.
We should introduce it to her. Sorry for, being involved in our normal day conversation. Back to the list.
All right, our number 4, I put down Architects of the West Kingdom. Now, there's a ton of great games in the Garfield is, paired up with Renegade on, Raiders of the North Sea, and Paladins of the West Kingdom, Viscounts of the West Kingdom. All those games are really fantastic. We didn't want to flood this list with just a whole bunch of them, though, so I decided to put, as a holder, Architects of the West Kingdom, which is, I think, our favorite, probably.
Yeah.
It changes from whenever we play one, we're like, oh, that's our new favorite. But most recently, we've played Architects, which means it's our current favorite.
Yeah.
Man, these games all have a very similar system as far as what the symbology means, which is great because when you're learning a new game, that's one less thing you have to worry about.
Yeah, that is really nice.
You already know the symbology. But even within that, they all have different things that they do. Maybe you're walking around a board. Maybe it's a worker placement. Maybe it's a new take on worker placement. Maybe there's all these different things that happen. But all the symbology is the same. You're usually trying to move up on these certain tracks. They're usually pretty big feeling productions, but the boxes are small, which I love. They don't take up a lot of shelf space, but they still take up a lot of space on the table, and you feel like a big, satisfying Euro-style game, which I really enjoy.
Our number 3, hold on, it's a mouthful, so just wait with me. Okay, ready? It is Vampire the Masquerade Rivals Expandable Card Game! Woo!
We did it. You did it.
We just call it Rivals in our house when we see it. This game was my first introduction to expandable card games in general. I know there's like other names that they go by, but this is my first introduction to it, and it was a great introduction. It was hard learned though because you're learning a brand new system, but once we got it, it all made sense. And it's just like you have these different families and they just like each other and you're trying to be like the best family. And I know some of you are probably more familiar with this world because I know there's like an RPG and stuff.
Yeah, it's a really popular Vampire the Masquerade RPG.
Yeah, so forgive me if you are a huge fan of that and I'm just like botching everything that's happening right now. But this is one of the games that we actually have on our short list of games that we want to play just for fun again, that we don't have to review, that we just like, now that we don't have a deadline, we just want to play. This is on my list. I'm like, this is one of the ones that I need to get back to the table because it is just good. It's just so good and it works and it's great, and there's an expansion that is coming out. A couple expansions actually.
At least 2 of them that are out, and I think more planned, but where you can kind of take your deck and then between games mix it up and add in new things, take out some things, streamline your deck in a way that's customized to your playstyle.
Exactly. Great game.
All right, so my number 2, this is probably one of the most famous Renegade games, I would say. And I'll say Clank. I mean, that's true.
Maybe,
I don't know. I don't have sales history or anything like that. But it's one of the ones I hear them talked about the most. Yeah. Clank is just such a great game. It's a deck building game, but on top of just the deck itself, you're integrated into a board with a dungeon crawl mechanism. You're going down to the bottom of the board. You're trying to pick up some treasures. You're trying to escape before the dragon attacks you. So there's a little bit of a push your luck element to it. You're racing it as well. It just combines so many different mechanisms in such subtle ways, but it comes together in a really smooth package. It's not like a difficult, challenging game. only difficult in terms of maximizing your victory points,
Yeah.
but not in terms of learning it or playing it. Because you're just using these boots to walk around. You're using this money to buy new things. You're buying this money to buy new items. Everything just kind of makes sense. And it's a deck building game with a board, which I always like it when those things come together like that.
All right, guys, we have arrived. We are here for our #1 game published by Renegade Game Studios, and that is Trajan. This game is just a classic. It is a classic. So this is a Feld game, which if you follow us at all, you know that we're huge fans of. And want to know a little bit of Bethany trivia? Here's a little bit of Bethany trivia for you. Are you ready? Trajan was my first favorite game.
Yeah, it's like a place that, you know, holds a special place in your heart.
It does.
Because your favorite game changes over time.
It does. My favorite game like shifts and all sorts of stuff. But my first favorite game, hobby-wise, Trajan.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of stuff going on in this game. Why don't you talk about it?
Okay, I don't want to step on your toes here.
You're fine. I told everybody it was my first favorite game, so you can talk about it.
This is a Mancala action selection thing, which is a complete...
Did you see how quickly he's like, okay.
I'm ready to go. Unrehearsed. It's got it on the tip of my tongue, ready to go. Yeah, there's this Mancala that you actually utilize to pick your actions, and each one of those actions has to do with a different area of the board, whether it's the little worker camp, or like the kind of the military combat area, or whether you are going to pick up more resources, or tiles, or special abilities, or victory points. Or shipping goods is another aspect of the game that's really important. So the Mancala kind of runs all of that. And so you have to really, really plan ahead of where you want to be in 2 or 3 turns from now, because you want to set up your board that way.
Yeah.
This is a heavier-ish game, but at the same time, once you've played it, it doesn't feel super heavy.
No.
You always have tons of different options on your turn. Your actions are and your decisions are very, very meaningful. So every part of this game, it just feels so satisfying when you pull it off. And even if you don't win, you still feel, if you were able to pull off what you were going for, you still feel good about it.
You feel accomplished about it. If you're set to do something and then you did it, you're like, I did the thing. Like, even if you don't win. So this is also a really funny thing about Trajan. Not all the time, but routinely, I'm in second place. And no, not just because we played 2-player all the time. Whether we play 2, 3, or 4-player, for some reason,
like 90% of the time,
I'm second place. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know what it is with this game and second place with me, but it's great and I love it, and I will come back to this game often. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. We want to know what your favorite Renegade Game Studio game is. Let us know in the comments below. Until then, don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. And you can find us on Facebook, we're Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we're Ryan Bethany 1. And on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.